And I believe we're on. A very good evening to you all watching. This is the 5th round of the World Online Racing League's PlayStation Division, the 12th season. And we are here in our 5th round at the Netherlands. Of course, one of the newest tracks in addition to the Formula 1 calendar was added last year. After long times away, about 36 years ago. I am not alone tonight. I am joined by the return, a long-awaited return, of Speed Quinn. How are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. I'm
Brilliant.
happy to be back into the...
Yeah, it's brilliant to have you back here after a bit of technical difficulties last week, but we will not get into that. We shall look forward to what we have tonight. The classic Zandvoort track. Narrow, hilly, banky, if you can say banky, especially at the end. And sure to provide a lot of action tonight, especially in qualifying. It's just a roller coaster ride. Right near the sand dunes on the Dutch coast. Of course, this track has provided some frills and spills over the years in the 70s and 80s, when it was a little different from what it looks like now. It opened at the same time as Silverstone in 1948, and it was pretty much the groundbreaker for the post-war motorsport boom alongside Silverstone itself. It was actually used to be a mix of permanent and public roads which went through the sand dunes of Zandvoort. And of course, as I have said, it has changed a lot now because there was a much different layout when it started. And then things happened. Building things happened, and as a result they had to change the layout. I believe a caravan park was built on the site of the old portions of the track. I should mention there are only 14 drivers. I know, small attendance tonight. I'm not sure why. I mean, it is Friday night. Some people are probably just trying to get last minute parties before the sadness of the weekend. Wait, why would you be sad about the weekend? But Quinn, it's going to be an interesting to see how competitors fare in qualifying, won't it? Yes. Oh, you're joking. He has. Oh, no. I don't know what happened there. As we see Links coming round the unusually banked turn 3, the Hogenholzbocht as it's called here at Zandvoort. Makes his way just over the curbs, but it counts. Of course, setting the purple line because, of course, he is the only driver to set a time right now. Going through the Masters Bocht, and then it'll be Renault Bocht, I think it's called. This is one of the tighter and more unorthodox corners as we make his way through turn number 10, the Vodafone Bocht, before heading down to the Hans Ernst Bocht. It's a two-parter, this. You'll take a right, and then you'll take a very swift hairpin. And you'll make the way out to Kumo Bocht before the banked Arie Luijendijk Bocht. The 14th and final turn. Look at that. Massive banking. It's bigger than Indy. and nearly as big as Daytona, but he crossed the line a 1:10.7. I'm sure those are going to follow, though. We are on medium tyres, and it's clouds are gathering in the sky, Quinn. We could be seeing, as Betasai sets the faster time, we could be seeing rain on the horizon. It looks like everyone's coming out except Jake Marsh. Well, he's actually just come out. Freaky Fast, he's just come out. And Surface, of course, he can't do anything. He's got to stay there. Everyone's coming out ASAP. Yeah. Which is allowed. Jensen, of course, our championship leader. No Santeri. Apparently he's left the league. So Jensen pretty much on his own tonight, and he goes 4 tenths quicker than Tom, of course. But a long way to go. Only 5 minutes have elapsed in the session. It is a Aston Martin 1-2 as we stand. Yes, there is a couple of unfamiliar names to this league, but familiar to many people. Joey from PSGL F3 PlayStation is here. And yes, that is Christian Hausmann, esports challengers competitor, I do believe, has made his first appearance this season. As I see 3 soft runners currently on a lap, one of them being Jake Marsh, other being Marlon, and then Freaky Fast, who received, I believe, a penalty for his actions, I should just mention. As he goes 9th, Marlon does. Modestrol's in the session. Alright, he should be getting in. Oh, what happened? Oh! Jake Marsh has lost it out of Ari Lyondike blocked. Yes, it does. Of course, yeah, he's going to switch to soft now. I should mention, Freaky Fast received a 10-second penalty for an incident with Santeri. No, actually, Santeri was awarded 2 10-second penalties, and it was for one of the incidents with Freaky Fast. I do like to apologise for falsely accusing Freaky Fast of a breach of the rules, but I have corrected myself. At least Santeri, of course, not here. Neither is Ballin, who won the 3rd round in the Sochi Autodrome. We'll just say Sochi Autodrome. I know there is something happening in the world we're not going to mention tonight, so we're just going to go and say that was at the Sochi Autodrome. Joey RC on his lap, and Surface retires from the session, of course, because he can't do anything. Oh, hold on. Oh no, I don't like that. Surface, I think, has done that tactically. He waited for some drivers to retire, I think. I hate to be the accuser here, but I think that's wrong. I think he should have retired at the start of the session. It doesn't matter if you're doing a qualifying lap. If a qualifying ban is a qualifying ban, I'm sorry. You should be at the back of the grid. Oof. Nearly. As we see Lynx cross the line, he goes third with a 1:10.365. Jensen is coming out of turn 7 right now in the middle sector before heading off to the Masters box. Of course, the Aston Martin that was featured in the most recent episode of The Apprentice. Hi, Sir Alan Sugar. Actually, no, it's Lord Sugar. I really do apologise again. Yeah, and Aston Martin did make an appearance. That Aston Martin made an appearance in The Apprentice. They were at Silverstone. They were trying to organise a corporate away day, fun fact, as Tom blazes the top time out of the water and goes under the 1:10 mark. A milestone moment in this qualifying session as Jensen will try and top that. Here he comes around the final corner. Larry Lyondike balked. And he's going to go into the inside to lose as little possible, and he improves on his teammate by half a tenth. It's another Aston Martin 1-2. It's getting familiar sight now, Quinn. He's pitted. I don't think he was happy with that lap. Modestro and Line Violet at the set of time. They've had 10 minutes to do it, but no chances of getting on the board. But Turtsai goes fourth with a 1:10.0. They're starting to creep into the 109s. They are, especially the two Betisai and Houseman. I was about to say the two Williams drivers, and then I realised, oh, Houseman's an AlphaTauri driver. Oops. Freaky Fast is coming around the third corner. Of course, the other banked corner nobody talks about. They all talk about our Lyondike box. Please show respect for the other banked corner. And no, I'm not. Freaky Fast coming across the line. He goes up to fifth. Sorry, I've cut you off. I was saying in response to, are you alone in commentary box? No, I'm not. I am with Speed Quinn once again, thankfully. I could do with an extra man in the commentary box because I do feel lonely when I do it on my own. Marlon is going to come back in the pits. He's got 6 more minutes left to set a bigger and better time as Joey has spun off in his outlap. That's a little embarrassing. Jabracker coming around the final corner. Where will he end up? 8th place. They all are starting to creep into the low 110s though, so it's starting to get ever closer. We've only got 11 drivers on track. Modestro retired in the pits by the looks of it, which is very surprising. It means Surface is going to start in at least 12th. Yeah. Again, I do not agree with that. I do believe the rules should be changed as Lynx completely goes outside of the banking, which is an interesting move, and it could pay off if he has a good lap around here. Making it around the famous Tarzan Bocht, which is a straightforward hairpin. It's a small rundown from the pole position to the first corner. I think it is just over 250 metres, which is the minimum requirement that Spa-Francorchamps doesn't actually meet. Fun fact of the day for you, Houseman is also on a lap. He's making his way around the Hans Herrn spot where all the flying Dutchmen will not fly. They will sit in the stands. Because humans can't fly, I'm sorry. But here comes Christian Houseman around the final corner. Taking the inside, of course, and he puts up the top time, a 109.769. Jensen and Tom are playing catch up now.
Yeah, I made a little bit of a rookie mistake there. I heard the comment from, "Oh, are you alone?" I went to check the party settings and my voice wasn't shared, so I've just done that. So now everyone can hear my.
Oh, you're joking! You
Rookie
checked.
Rookie mistake there from myself, but now everyone can hear me.
We've done 15 minutes of commentary and you've just realised. Why didn't you check? Oh no, we sincerely apologise.
I automatically have it on my other one, so I didn't think to check, but it's on now.
Oh, rip.
So yeah, now you guys can hear my voice.
Yeah, so that is Speed Quinn. For those of you who are not familiar with him, he is my co-commentator, at least for this week and the next week.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. As we see Bertusai making his way, and Jensen has backed out on his first lap. He's going to go again. Houseman, of course, not doing another lap on those tyres. He's going to make one last dash. I wonder what the tyres are going to be like in the next game, in all honesty, because remember, in the real world, they are removing the Q2 tyre rule. You have to start the tyre on Q2. That might mean you get a free choice wherever you start.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I think that's exactly what they're intending. So, may see some more Sergio Perez defensive masterclasses like in Abu Dhabi. May see more of them. He starts P3 on the hard tyres. You never know. That might happen.
Don't remind me.
You might see that every race.
It was a smart move, but in all honesty, how it ended was abysmal. And that was the real start of World War III, the car war.
F1 Civil War.
I mean, it's always been a civil war, let's be honest. As we see, who is coming in the final corner? Jensen, who is faster than he was last time on one lap old softs. Less than a tenth, but remember, he needs to build up more than that. Oh, he has an unusual exit out of the final corner. Has he done enough? Coming into the finish line, and it is not good enough. He's 4 thousandths short as his teammate starts his hot lap.
Yeah, we're just going on board with it. Oh, Tom, he takes the curb on the inside, and that's really not an ideal line. But it looks like he's still carrying on with his lap. Maybe.
He's 2 tenths down, nearly.
Yeah, he's backed out of his lap, so he will be going round for another one. His tyres will only be 1 lap old, so all of the performance won't be out, but Christian Hausmann is on his out lap. So maybe he can find some more time and go even quicker.
Alright, so as you can see, Christian Hausmann coming on his out lap for the last chance he has of extending his lead on top of the leaderboard. He's already 4 thousandths up, but he wants more. He knows Jensen will be... Actually, I don't think Jensen will be back for more. Tom certainly will, though. Tom is invalidated! He's invalidated at the worst possible time. He's going to have to go again. And he has to go again now. He can't go back in the pit lane. He's got 1 chance. And Smalley has retired in the pit lane. It's all over for him in this session as Lynx goes 4th. Hausmann is on his lap, and he's absolutely blazing it. He's already a 1/4 of a second and some up on the first section. Actually, no, that is a lie. It's less than 10th down, because this timing system is horrible. This comes around the Renault Bocht, I should say. There's too many Bochts here. Vodafone Bocht now turned 10 before heading down to the 2-parter of the Hans Ernst Bocht, as I get a warning that my DualShock 4 is low, but Turksai has done enough in 4th place. Now, Hausmann coming around the final 2 corners. Time has run out on this session as he comes across the line now. Will he extend his lead in this qualifying session? No, he will not. Will anyone? Oh, Darren Tom has crashed in the wall. He is absolutely furious, and I think that is going to do it. Yes, that is going to do it. Unless Marlon...
Yeah, Marlon's still on the lap. He was 5 thousandths down.
Yeah, he's 2 thousandths down now. I don't think he's going to get there, so I'm going to assume unless...
2 tenths. He's 2 tenths up on his time. Well, yeah, 2 tenths up on his time, so he could get himself into P6 here. Oh, never mind.
And he spun it. And that means, well, it was unless a miracle happened, but Christian Hausmann, on his return to league racing action, has secured himself pole position here at Zandvoort. He has come to prove that he ain't done yet.
Yeah, it's very, very solid lap from Christian Hausmann, and it's going to be a real tough time for him having both Aston Martins behind him in P2 and P3. So, but equally for those two, it's going to be a very hard time to overtake him, because Zandvoort is notorious for being one of the toughest tracks to overtake at. So maybe they'll do a little team strategy where they keep one person out up front and hold him up a little bit.
Yes, as you can see the qualifying results. Line Violet did not set a time, I should mention. So he'll be starting in 13th. I mean, Surface, despite having a qualifying ban, is starting 11th. And all the top 10 will have to start on the tyres they set. And those drivers who did not set a time will get to choose. So it's Christian Hausmann on pole by 4 thousandths. Then it's the 2 Aston Martins of Jensen and Tom. Legs by Tutsai, Pretty Fast, Smalley, Jabracker, Marlon, Joey on mediums. Surface, controversially, Jake Marsh, Line Violet. And I do believe Modest Stroll and Jacko Wigley, the lineup for this race. So it's going to be interesting how these drivers fare in the race. And again, I always say that, but you know, it is interesting because this is one of the more interesting tracks, Zandvoort. It's hard to overtake, narrow, and you're probably going to lose less time than you are in other tracks, because of course the pit lane is close to the finish line, unlike most other tracks which take about, you know, there's one entry before the last turn, but no, this one's right at the finish line.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how the pit strategy comes out. Like I was saying before, with the Aston Martin boys, they can maybe have a little team strat where one of them stays out and does a longer stint, and they could try and hold up Christian a little bit, just so maybe, say if Tom's out up front, and he can hold up Christian a little bit for Jensen, so then maybe do a little Sergio Perez Abu Dhabi action.
Oh no, don't remind me. Alright, so we are about to begin qualifying here. Qualifying? We have already done qualifying. It's now time for the race. Please excuse me, I've had a horrible week. Actually, don't. Anyway, here we go, and Christian Hausmann has had a horrible time trying to get off the line. Actually, no, it's Tom just jumping the gun as they make their way around the Tarzan box for the 0th time, because of course this is the formation lap, it's not an actual lap. As you can see, the top 9 on softs, Joey on used mediums, and Surface downwards all on new mediums.
Yeah, I reckon Joey and Surface, even Jake Marsh are going to be people to look out for. Well, everyone on the mediums really, they'll be people to look out for, because they can extend their first stint. They can go longer than the soft runners, and maybe the alternate strat might be something that can work for them.
Of course, you can see Surface in the Aquafresh livery, as what have we been told to call it by everyone now. At Hausmann, of course, he had a qualifying ban, but Hausmann here is pretty much in the driving seat. Pole position, soft tyres, but of course he's going to have to make that early pit stop It's all about what are the Aston Martins going to try and do to make an assault on the Esports Challengers driver. It's going to be very interesting to see how they will cope with an undercut, an overcut, etc. Especially if this track depends on strategy more than overtakes. This is probably the prime overtaking area here after Ireland blocked a unusual banked corner as they are making their way to line up on the grid for this, the Dutch Grand Prix. Well, sort of.
So you can see from, well, you could see from the pit strategy, it says soft hard or soft medium, but these guys, they could probably, knowing them, they could probably extend the soft stint, and maybe if you're feeling really brave, you could do a one-stop soft medium or medium soft. If you're
Alright, here
really
we go. Forget your wars, this is the war you want to watch, and let it begin! Christian Hausman leads them off in Zandvoort in this war of WOR drivers, with Jensen and Tom side by side into the first corner as Lynx is right behind Jensen. As they make their way round Tarzan Bocht, it's Hausman and the two Aston Martins squabbling internally with Lynx on the prowl, and there's some moves going around, and we have a spinner. I do believe it was Freaky Fast off camera, spinning out before turn number 3 as they make their way through this very hilly valley section here. It is still Hausman, Jensen, Tom, Lynx, Smalley, the top 5. Joey in 7th right now. Chasing down Baturksai on the medium tyres, of course, made up 3 places already, and Freaky Fast needs to make a decision back, and back there, Jake Marsh spinning off at Renault Bocht and falling down with Freaky Fast right at the back. But the leaders now coming through the Hans Ernst Bart in what has been an action-packed first lap, Quinn.
Yeah, just look, going back to the first lap, the start of the race, Christian had an excellent start, and so did Tom.
Yes.
Jensen was a little bit, it was just that a fraction of a second, just a little bit slower reaction time, and by the first corner Tom was a good bit alongside, but they kept to positions. Just looking at the position changes, the big winners from this is Joey, Modestrol and Joaco. And, well, Freaky Fast has lost 9 positions, but there's no one else really. Everyone's relatively keeping the same positions as they qualified on. So it's going to be very interesting to see how strategy plays into this, and if so, how the weather plays into it as well.
Yes, Joey is right behind Batursai. I should mention he's probably taking advantage of these longer lasting medium tyres and set Batursai on the U soft, and he's lost a lot of time to Smalley out of that corner there. And coming into the Hans Ernst Bocht, Joey's gap to him is 3 tenths, and it could go down even more if he has the better exit, and he has. It's now a quarter of a second, 2 tenths. He might even get an overtake before DRS is even enabled as they make their way around Ireland Bocht for the second time tonight. Christian Hausman setting the fastest lap, no surprises there, but behind Joey is both Jabraka and Marlon as the signal for DRS to be enabled shows up, and it's Jabraka right behind Joey and Marlon right behind Jabraka as they make their way into turn number 3, the banked corner. And Marlon has a look on the inside but decides nope, not this time, as they make their way through turns 4, 5 and 6. And now turn 7, but Marlon doesn't seem like he's going to get Jabraka at this point of the race.
Yeah, I was just looking on board with Joey, and he very nearly lost the rear of his car there, but he was able to save it. So if I was in Joey, I'll be happy with where I am at the moment. It's in P7, you're the highest medium runner, so you're in a good place to get a good point scoring position here. So it's only about 7 tenths behind Batuksai. He does have Jabraka 4 tenths within 4 tenths behind him on the soft tyres, but in the next 4, 5, 6 laps you will see soft tyres start to degrade, start to fall off a little bit. But these guys, this is the tier 1 on PlayStation, so these guys will know how to manage their tyres and extend as much as possible. So
oh yes,
some of them will be trying to get close to pitting at the same time as the medium runners, so there isn't that much of an advantage.
There isn't, no. And look at this! Marlon right behind Jabraka again. Both on free lap used softs. But doesn't seem to be any change in the pecking order there yet. And not a good entry for Marlon by the looks of it. But looks like he's gained that lost time back of Jabraka. As a long DRS train, it's going to be very difficult to overtake. And I'm talking about the top 10 here. Surface is a front row ticket to this encounter. Marlon now 4/10 behind Jabraka. Is actually... They're very evenly split apart to make their way around once again. Will there be any changes here? All drivers with the DRS on, but yes, they're not close enough. We have said it is very difficult to overtake, and I think it's because with all the speed you're gaining, it makes you drift apart with the dirty air before the front straight, the big bend of Ari Dyke box is just splitting you apart, and my goodness me, Jabraka and Marlon starting to struggle on these soft tyres around the bank corners. You need a lot of adrenaline pumping you through turn 3. It's going to probably cost you a lot of wheel spin grip, as you just saw. It's still at the top, it's a little quiet on this front. Houseman, Jensen, Tom and Lynx your top 4. Marlon right behind Jabraka again, this for 8th place and 4 points, 2 additional to the 9th place they're on right now. It doesn't mean they're going to make any changes yet.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the gap to the leader from 5th place, which is Modest Stroll. He's only just about 5.5 seconds behind Christian, so that just shows how much of like the DRS train can play into it, because if Christian was to pit, well, he'd be coming out of the back.
Yes, he would. It would be very interesting right now because if they pit, but at this rate the mediums are going to have to pull off the stint of their lives. Actually, at this rate, it could be anyone's race. You never know. It all depends on how they do in the pit stops. If the safety car comes after someone's already pit, it's going to be one heck of a showdown after that, because if you pit under the safety car, you lose much less time than you would under normal circumstances. And that's why people plead for no safety car, because it can really change the game. It never changed the game in NASCAR, but because the cars are so far apart, it would likely change things in Formula 1, because they're always stuck together in NASCAR. To make their way around to lap number 7 of the race, and Jensen is looking for a move on Houseman on the inside, and he gets it done into the lead, and Bertursai at the same time takes Smalley's 5th place. So finally we're seeing some changes in the order, but there's a long way to go yet. This is just 16% of the race.
Yes. So we've already got some splits in the DRS train. We've got the top 4 all within DRS of each other, and then from Batuk's side down to Modest Stroll, they've got their little train, and then two car trains with Draco and Lion Violet, and then Freaky Fast and Jake Marsh. So started to see the top 4 pull away a little bit.
Oh dear, there's a big crash! There's a big crash, it's Joey! And I do believe Smalley have been involved in a big accident. Joey's lost his entire front wing, and Smalley has... Actually, I don't think he's lost a bit of his front wing at all. No, it looks fine. But he has fallen all the way down to 14th, and Joey now in last place as we join the leaders once again. No virtual safety car or safety car deployed despite the debris on the track, as Houseman looks to get revenge. But he isn't going to get it. He's run out of runway. But now Modest Stroll on the back of Surface, but he can't find a move down the inside at Tarzan Bocht.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate for Joey as He was trying to get it moved on Smalley, but Smalley is actually into the pits and he is changing his front wing, and the same to Joey. So they're both on mediums, I believe, or maybe Smalley was on the softs. I'm not 100. Actually,
yeah, Smalley was on the softs. Smalley switching to the hard, so it looks like it's going to be a one-stop strategy from him. Joey going on the mediums. I'm not sure they'll go 29 laps. He might be doing the two-stop. As we've joined the leaders once again, Link's right behind Tom for a podium position, perhaps. But the top three remain the same as they were last lap. Houseman now in an Aston Martin sandwich. Oh, how yummy. Now I just need my cup of tea, please.
You've got two James Bond cars and then the fashion brand in the middle.
Yeah, which one is which? Which James Bond is which? Is it Roger Moore, or is it Daniel Craig, or is it Tom and Jensen? I think we'll go with Tom and Jensen. As Marlon sets the fastest lap, which gets you absolutely nothing.
Side by side between Marlon and Jabraka, and Marlon gets the move done.
Completely missed it.
Marlon's up into P6, Jabraka's fallen down, and now Jabraka's got to deal with Surface, who's 2 tenths behind him, and he's gaining. He's gaining. Probably one of the worst places to overtake here. Will he look for it? He's practically pushing Jabraka through the corner.
Yes, but he is.
That'll be a very not wise position to take. Well, yeah. That'll be a very not wise position on the track to make an overtake. This could be a good place if you see a gap to go through, but yeah, looking back into the top 4, the only person who's, well, no one's really in a position to overtake. But let's go on board with Christian Hausman. He has a little bit of a moment on the curb there as he's dropping further back, and 3/4 of a second back, but that will fall down to about half.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you! Smalley has crashed out of the race as Surface looks for a move on Jabraka into the first turn. But he's not going to get it done. And look how close those drivers are, tight-knit from 6th down to 9th. But yes, as we were saying, Smalley out of the race.
There is a virtual safety car now, so I don't think no one's really
full safety
close
car
enough.
Full safety car. Quinn.
Full safety car now, so likely it's going to be a very difficult position for Jensen and Tom now, as Tom is actually falling back. He's creating a gap between himself and Jensen. Look at the gap there is between Christian and Tom. It's 4.5 seconds.
I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. He's trying to do trying to avoid the double stack. I've seen this done before, and there is no rule against holding the other drivers behind you up. It doesn't sound sportsmanlike, but there is nothing in the rules against it. So I guess if you want to bend the rules entirely, feel free to. Jensen is surely going to come in the pits, right? As you can see, he is going slowly because he has to withstand the delta. He's coming in, so this could be perfectly measured by the Aston Martin boys. Look at the line! Look at the line! Now let's see how the Astons do in the pit stop.
Yes, so Surface will be... Oh, is it good? Is held up just a little bit, but it gets up cleanly. No traffic to go out into. And
brilliant.
Yeah, Jake Marsh has actually inherited P3. But net race lead is still Jensen, net P2 is Christian, and net P3 is Tom.
Yes, Tom has stayed ahead of Lynx and Bertuksa. He lost nothing from that double stack. An absolutely perfect execution from the Aston Martin boys. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, so I think Jensen's gonna Jensen and Christian are going to find it really difficult to get past Surface and Jake Marsh, respectively. Of course, as we've mentioned so many times, this track is a nightmare for overtaking unless you get a good run out of turn 14, which is the last corner, and hopefully you get the braking right for turn 1. Those are really the only opportunities for overtaking, unless someone makes a huge mistake during the lap. do see some interesting tyre choices from everyone though. Marlon in 8th place is on the hards, and Jabraka's on the softs. Then we've got a checkerboard effect here between 8th and 13th. We've got hard soft, and then Modestro on the hards, Wiggly on the softs, then Lion Violet on the hards, and then Freaky Fast on the softs. So
Marsh is pitting.
Checkerboard effect there. Whoa.
And he's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well.
It's very interesting from Jake.
He's going to fall to the back. And so are Jabraka, Line Violet, and Freaky Fast. Surface playing the long game and staying on those medium tyres. And you know what? I do not blame him. That's the way it should be played on the mediums. Joey is 50 seconds behind. My goodness me, he's not having a good day, is he?
I think maybe those guys are pitting in because they had the wrong tyre selected. But then Jabraka Wiggly is still on the softs. So maybe he's happy to be on the softs, and maybe he's relying on there being another safety car, or maybe doing another soft stint after this, where fuel is at the lowest it will be.
I think
so
the
maybe
mediums,
he's trying to take advantage of it.
I think the new medium tyres might get to the end.
So yeah, it's very interesting to see this strategy, because normally you'd see it at a track where overtaking isn't as such into a premium. You'd see it more at a track like, say, Monza, where you'd want to be on the fastest tyre where your fuel is lowest, and I'm not sure what's happened to Christian Haas here as Tom's got past him.
Oh dear. That's not supposed to happen. Please let him through.
I think there may be a glitch with the safety car where if you overtake someone, it'll say give it back, but then Christian Haas, well, got overtaken, but then it didn't tell Tom to give the position back. So,
and that is weird. That will have to be looked into, I'm for sure. But I just hope Tom does the right thing and let Houseman through once we get underway again. It would only be fair. Yeah.
It would be good sportsmanship if that were to happen. But something I've noticed is that Jake Marsh is in the pits again.
He's serving his penalty.
Yeah, he's serving his 5-second penalty here. Is Tom letting Christian through? I think he's just let him through. Yeah, he has.
But is it going to work?
I think it looks like it has. It doesn't look like there's any penalties given, so yeah, good sportsmanship from Tom letting Christian back through.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Unless it does show a penalty in like 5 seconds, but yeah. This game does speak weirdly sometimes. One soft runner, Jacko Wiggly. He will be on the soft tyres. He's done 1 lap on them. I think he's going to be doing the 2-stop.
Yeah, most likely he will be doing a 2-stop, but someone is... Oh, Christian, I'm not sure what he's doing there.
What happened? I missed it.
Yeah, as he exited the corner, he sort of just veered over to the left and nearly found himself in the wall.
And I see a bit of a graining on his front right tyre for some reason. But now Jensen is going to lead them away as the safety car comes in once again.
It's actually Surface at the front. He hasn't pitted yet.
Surface. Who did I say?
You said Jensen.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting that Surface is not pit yet. But Surface will lead the field away.
And
he's gone. He's gone for it, and he's got a massive gap. And Houseman is right behind Jensen. And what's going to happen here? A couple of drivers weaving in. Look at this. Tom going on the inside of Christian Houseman. And the inside, an absolutely brilliant move. Pinpoint perfection from the Aston Martins. As now both drivers into the podium positions once again. And surely they're going to inherit first position as soon as he can get past the dying medium tyres of Surface. As Lynx is right behind Houseman. Houseman is struggling out there.
Yeah, maybe his tyres weren't quite up to temperature, but we saw Tom go for a very opportunistic move as the inside of that first corner, if you even touch that curb, it's almost like you just spin instantly. It's covered in ice, but yeah, Tom with a very opportunistic move, and Christian, well, he just got caught off guard there. And now Lynx is probably going to be looking to capitalise on that and try and get himself into what would be a net P3.
So the leaders come around to start the second lap of post-safety car racing here at Zandvoort. It's still Surface in the lead, but he is yet to pit, and he sets the fastest lap of the race apparently. That's quite unusual, but you know, this once again, he's probably been conserving his tyres very well, with that safety car being an aid to that. Jaco Wiggly all over the back of Marlon, but can't get a move done. Not yet anyways. Lynx right behind Houseman again. The gap 3 tenths between the drivers as they come through turn 7.
Yeah, if you just look at the gaps from Jake Marsh in last, so the leader is about 7.5, just less than 7.5 seconds between Jake Marsh and Surface. Granted, it is the second lap after the safety car came in, so the gaps will be tight, but everyone is within DRS range, so you've just got this huge DRS train. As we know, DRS trains, they're impossible to get out of. People say if you're the third car in a DRS train, you're pretty much screwed. If you're the 14th car in a DRS train, how must you be feeling?
I don't know. DRS enabled. Jaco Wrigley right behind Marlon, and he's going to have another opportunity the next lap round, especially with DRS turned on. Line Violet trying to get into the points. He's 3 tenths behind Jabraka. At Surface still in the lead, and doesn't look like the Aston Martin boys can get anywhere near him right now. The gap only half a second.
Yeah, it's looking very good and very tasty for Surface at the front, but he still has to pit. He's on 15 lap old mediums, so I'm not sure. The longer that he takes the tyres, it's difficult to say what the strategy is from here. We're nearly halfway through the race, and I'm not sure what the strategy is from here. He could pit on the hard tyres, which could definitely do 20 laps. But then again, if it can take him longer, you could maybe just do a one-stop medium soft. And from Surface, putting in a fastest lap on the first racing lap, you've got to say his tyres must be in good stint. They must be in very good condition, as he sets another fastest lap, but then that's taken by Jensen just behind him. And look at the gap between Tom and Jensen. It was verging on a second. It was verging on the DRS being disabled. So the two front runners at the moment are really pushing the pace, and Tom, well, he was kind of struggling to keep up with them.
Yeah, Surface trying to make a statement, putting his place in the race with those fastest laps coming through the timing sheets. 16 laps old his tyres will be come 17 the next lap around. He really is putting in the form, and I think there's a yellow flag there. Someone must have had an incident, but it doesn't look like there has been anything to inquire about. But Jensen now once again so close, but has there been an incident, Quinn?
No, there was Line Violet. He dropped all the way back to the back of the field, and he still had some sand and gravel on his tyres. And he had a moment where the rear just stepped out, but he managed to save it. It's still going. But look at Jake Marsh. I saw him bouncing around like he's in a pinball machine.
I have to cut you away. Jensen and Surface are battling for the lead. Jensen's taking the lead, and Jaco Wiggly is off the track at Tarzan and has fallen all the way down to 12th. The sole medium runner, sole soft runner as we speak. And Surface is trying to get that first position back, but my goodness me, he's performing so well in these 17 and a bit lap old tyres. But Jensen has got past him into the lead of the race. Familiar sight here on WOR PlayStation. Jensen in the lead ahead of Surface.
Yeah, Jake Marsh is really struggling. He did have a moment where he crashed into the wall, and he did reset the track, so that might be looked at by the stewards. But yeah, he's really struggling. I'm not sure if he has a front wing. He does have his front wing, but his front right end plate that's missing, which in the game has a very, very big effect on downforce. As we just gonna hop back on board with Jensen as he goes round turn 1. He's got 5/10 advantage, and Marlon is coming into the pits. He is changing his front wing. He's changing to the medium tyres. So if you're everyone, well, in the top 6, barring maybe surface, well, Jensen, Tom, Christian, Lynx and Batuksai, you'd be looking to take these to the end maybe. If you're surface, well, you could go longer and potentially go onto the softs. Ideally, you would be coming out at the back, but he's done very well to even keep into the top 2 on these mediums. They're 18 laps old. He showed his quality. He showed that they still have life in them even after 18 laps, going on 19.
Yes, they do indeed. We're halfway through the race now at Zandvoort as Jensen starts lap 20 of this voyage. The gap now half a second. Oh, surface creeping closer, but he's not close enough, of course. 4 attempts ain't gonna cut it this time, sir. As they approach turns 2 and 3. For some reason, that turn before turn 2 is not a turn. It clearly looks like a turn, but apparently it's not on my book. It says here it's just not a turn. It's just, well, it could be 2A and 2B, but no, it's just not there.
It's like Austria. Turn 2 isn't really a turn, but it is a turn.
Oh!
Apparently
Jake Marsh, who's just retired from the race, had his brake pedal broke.
Oh,
and Houseman! Houseman has spun! It's gone bad to worse for Christian Houseman.
Oh no.
The pressure has piled on him again. What is happening to the Esports Challengers driver? Oh man.
So unfortunate. Just looking at his front wing, it doesn't look like it's got any visible damage, but it may have damage that may be affecting him. Looking at the timings, he isn't losing any time. If anything, it's just stagnating as at 8.5 temps. So he will be going ahead, but what was a podium for him is now, well, points finish.
Yeah, it's really in jeopardy now for Houseman, but he's got to keep on going, I'm afraid. I'm asking about surface. When does he pit? And how does he play his percentages with the soft tyres?
I'm just hoping if I can go on board with surface, if it'll come up with the tyre performance graphic. I'm just praying that that'll come up so he can see what performance he has left in these mediums.
Well, they're certainly doing 21 laps now, as he's still stuck in that Aston Martin sandwich. Yes, it's not a pretty sandwich, especially with a Haas in the middle of it, but no offence. Surface still improving it now. This Marlon has spun at turn 9.
That's
and
Joey as
falls
well.
to the back, and Joey has lost it out of our line dike box. It's just getting bad to worse for Joey. And Marlon spun again.
Marlon spun again, so yeah, you got to be very careful on tyres that are overheating. You don't want to have too quick movements, any sudden movements on him, as he goes for a little slide there, does Marlon, but keeps it in a straight line, keeps it on the track more importantly. But look at the gap between Jensen and Surface. Virgin on a second, Virgin on breaking the DRS.
It is a second. And I think it was a second when he came through, and he's got no DRS. Surface has. He is easy prey for Tom come the next DRS straight. And this is working out a treat for the... And we've lost Marlon from the race. I was saying this is working out a treat for the Aston Martin, gentlemen. Coming around, look how close Tom is to Surface. Surface starting to struggle. But he's still hanging on, he's still staying out there, but no avail. Tom goes into second place with the fastest lap of the race yet. And now the gap between the two drivers at top is 1.1 seconds. It's going to be a big hill for these guys to climb if they want to catch the Aston Martins.
Yeah, so Christian has just come into the pits, maybe trying something a little bit different. Let's see what tyres he puts on. It will be another set of mediums, and he is changing his front wing, so he did have some front wing damage there, albeit not visible to us. So the top three as it stands in the net positions, we have Jensen in P1, Tom in P2, and it will be Lynx in P3, then Batukside P4, and Modestroll P5. So that is your net P5. Surface, once he pits, you'd think he would come out actually behind Joey. He would come out ahead of Joaco. He will come out behind Joey, so he will actually come out and inherit P10. So what is a very impressive medium stint from Surface, because of the safety car really bunching everyone together, it's sort of not really played into his favour.
What he needs is a safety car, and that will reset the whole grid. I'm not sure. I think the mediums would have to pit as well if there's a safety car.
Yeah.
He's got to play the lottery pretty much and pray that his lucky numbers come up.
Yeah, if you look at the intervals, he's actually keeping up with Tom. He is within DRS range, although it is verging on getting to that 1 second. It is 9 tenths near, or thereabouts. But it is, you can definitely tell that Surface's tyres, being nearly double the age of everyone else on the mediums, you can tell that he's really starting to struggle. And well, I wouldn't even dream of taking mediums 23 laps, so how he's done it is beyond me.
Yeah, I have to say the same. The gap between the two Aston Martin drivers are now 7 tenths as Jacko Wigley becomes the first. He's crashed. Oh. He's crashed. Wait, does that mean there's no warning yet? You got a penalty and then he crashed.
He's taken a liberty of pitting in before a safety car. Well, potential safety car.
It's not. It's not coming out.
So Modestroll tried to be on the front foot there and predict it, but it hasn't happened. He's gone for another set of mediums and has put himself down into P10.
And Houseman is well down, unfortunately. But then again, Surface still has to pit. Where will he come out? And he has to go soft. He can't go anything else.
Yeah, he has to.
Can't go hards. No grip at all. Can't go mediums. It's the only tyre he's used. Softs is the only way to go. And when they die out, they die out hard here in the Netherlands.
Yeah. But if you look at like how everyone's like the soft runners, how many laps they did before the safety car came out, they all did 9 laps. So if you can get it to that mark, or even 8 laps, you'd think they'd be fine.
Surface is still not pitted as they make their way around Tarzan once again. The gap now half a second between the top two, the Aston Martins, but 8 tenths between Tom and Surface. How is Surface doing with his worn out tyres?
Yeah, it's just 25 laps on those tyres. It's just unreal. I thought I was crazy when I saw someone do 30 laps on hards at Hungary, but 25 laps on the mediums at Zandvoort is just, it's unheard of. Like, maybe in a 100% race you'd see that, but not in a 50% race.
No, certainly not. As Surface still trying to get anywhere close to the Astons, but it's not working out. Tom, I don't know what these Aston Martins guys are going to do. I think Tom's going to try and defend from any predators behind him, and Jensen's just going to chill in his car as he comes around to start the final 10 laps here at Zandvoort.
Yeah, so looking at the gaps for everyone, it does look like Surface will actually, once he pits, if the gaps stay as they are right now, he'd come out ahead of Joey, so he'll be in P9. So, well actually no, he'd be in P8, with everyone else moving up behind him. He'd be in P8, he'd inherit P8 from Lime Violet, and Lime Violet to Lynx will move up one spot. So, P8, for the strategy that he's got, the strategy that he's given to himself, is a very decent result for him.
It is indeed, and look at this! Tom is 3 tenths behind Jensen with the DRS aiding him before the Hans Ernst box. Are these two going to try and fight for the win? Well, they've got to be careful. Surface is right behind him, but he has to pit. And those two actually coming close together means that Surface has gained some time back. The gap is half a second between the first and second and third drivers, and now it's going to get even closer. And look at this, Tom is like 2 tenths behind Jensen. The gap goes back to 4 tenths, 3 tenths now, but my goodness, are they coming? They better not come too close for comfort now, or they might lose all the points they've got right now.
Yeah, the clouds are actually starting to get pretty dark overhead. So it is getting overcast, so maybe some rain in the final laps. It is still sunny, it's still sun on the track, but I just noticed that the clouds are getting a little bit darker just over the track.
They are indeed. Surface still on 27 lap holds. Is he waiting for some rain to fall?
Maybe that was the strategy. Maybe he was just trying to take the mediums as long as he could to the rain, but you'd have to think if it starts raining with 2 or 3 laps to go, will that be enough to warrant inters, and will it be enough to have an effect on whether he can overtake people? Because the softer compounds actually are quite good in changeable conditions. As just on board with Tom, he is getting close to Jensen, but he just isn't close enough. Ideally, you need to be about 3.5 tenths behind to really get an overtake after turn 14 here. But everyone's still in the top 5. There's a DRS train. It feels like it's been like this for the whole race. But yeah, there's not very much action outside of the top 5, as there is someone going slow. That is Christian.
Again, and he's lost his front wing. Slow. I think he might retire.
He may go onto the softs and take fastest lap.
Yeah, no, he's retiring. What a shame. Houseman, who started on pole, had with a lot of promising things coming from him, but it's all come to naught at the end, and he retires and scores no points on the board here at Zandvoort. Jensen still leads ahead of Tom about 6 tenths. Lynx trying to get close to Surface. Now, when is Surface going to pit? He's still staying on this. He has to pit soon, or he might lose a lot of positions.
Yeah, just looking at the gaps now. Well, he will still come out ahead of Joey. He's still come out ahead of Joey there. Judging by it being about 20 seconds, you lose. It may be more than that, I'm not entirely 100% sure, but judging off it being about 20 seconds by the nature of the entry, he'll come out ahead of Joey. Well, yeah, back to the action. We've got the closest battle on track is actually Lynx to the back of Surface, and we saw that Jensen and Tom got past Surface, albeit it was by a couple laps behind him, as we see Surface's ERS light flashing just for a split second there. So Surface is running low. Let me just bring up the telemetry. Yeah, he's on 19%. But Tom actually is on about 90% ERS left, so he's saving this for the last few laps as he's gaining and gaining and gaining. It gets within 3 tenths, but it isn't getting any closer, so maybe in the last few laps there will be all guns blazing for these two Aston Martin drivers, as we're seeing very differing lines from the two Aston Martin drivers. Jensen going for more of a double apex through the first banked corner, whereas Tom looks for that one apex. He just goes for the middle of the corner apex and gradually goes out to the edge, whereas Jensen, from what I saw, goes for that double apex at the banked corner. So even in the game, people are taking different lines. We saw it in real life as Antwerp, where people were going for crazy lines, hugging the outside of the banked corner. So yeah, it's good to see some aspects of real life coming into here.
Indeed it is, and look at this. 5 laps to go once they cross the finish line next. The gap between the two Astons, they're just putting a masterclass on these drivers. They're showing off like James Bond and No Time to Die. 5 laps to go, and Surface is lucky to be within a second of these two folk. It's incredible.
He's done 31 laps on the mediums.
My goodness me. They're going to run out soon. Look, they've got a lot of flat spots on them. Has he been locking up too much?
It's finally reached the DRS. It's finally reached the DRS limit. It's teetering on that 1 second and is finally over it. So you gotta think he's gotta come in the next lap. He's gotta come in this lap.
He's gotta come in this lap, surely. It's just too risky to stay, and he can't stay out. It's against the rules. You have to use 2 different tyre compounds. I was about to say, he's got to pit now, surely. He's got to do 4 laps on the softs. I don't even think he realises.
Yeah, there isn't even a fastest lap point, so he can't take the fastest lap. Well, he'll have bragging rights to say, no, look, I've got the fastest lap, but look at Jensen. This is the closest he's been.
He's pit.
This is the closest he's been. He's going for a move down the inside, reminiscent of his move on Christian Hausmann, and he gets the move done. So Tom now inherits the lead. Of course, going into the final laps, you don't really want the lead. It's sort of like that, where if you can get a good exit going on to the last lap, out of the last corner, if you're Jensen and you get a good exit and you're within 4 attempts, you could have the race win just based off the final corner.
Yes, you can. So I did miss that pretty much, because Surface finally pit, and he's right behind Line Violet, heading into turn number 7. He's going to try and make a move on the Korean driver, but he fails to do so. And the Surface could not scratch Line Violet in down to 8th place. He's right behind him, and he needs to make this move ASAP if he's going to have a chance to try and get in freaky fast, which he will be 4 seconds behind. But now these two are going to go to clash heads once more. What will Jensen do? Can he get back past Tom? Going down the middle.
Yeah. Oh. He's going for the cutback, but he doesn't get it done. So Jensen re-inherits the lead there. Maybe Tom can go for a little cheeky look down here, but he doesn't. So Jensen re-inherits the lead. Tom is still on about 70% ERS. Jensen's on about 60%, so both Aston Martin drivers really looking after their ERS. Link's in behind, well, he's on 3%.
Yeah,
so,
he's on 3%.
And he is outside of DRS range now, so Batutsai, he's got to make up some ground on Links, and well, he's got to make up some ground to potentially be in for a look for a podium. But it's been a fairly clean race for everyone. No penalties, no track warning penalties. I believe the only one for track warning was Joaco Wigley.
And he's out of the race.
He's out of the race, so very clean race from everyone. There will be some people on warnings, but Tom, let's go back on board with him. He's just not close enough. He will be within 2 attempts, but the gap, like I said before, you really want to be in is that within 4 attempts. 3.5, 4 attempts is the gap that you'd need to get a move done either before or going into turn 1 has surfaced, but it's in a 1:11.0.
And Modestroll has passed Joey in the Larry Lion bike box, and he has the DRS right before they entered the corner. Right after they entered the corner, gets past him, and now these two drivers have 1.5 laps to resolve this battle. But they've got to be careful. If they're not careful, then they could lose points. They're already guaranteed 1 point. Each. Surface is in 7th, trying to get close to Freaky Fast. I don't know if he's going to have enough time and enough track left, as now Tom has one last chance to get past Jensen. This 36th and last lap here at Zandvoort. Here we go. What will Tom have when he gets the DRS on? Oh, he's getting very close, but not close enough. He sets the fastest third sector of the race. Can he snatch 7 extra points from Jensen in the dying moments of the race? Coming round turn 3, it's still 4 tenths the gap. How will they fare across the valleys? It doesn't look like they have any problems at all. 3 tenths now.
Yeah, it's getting very close between these two. I was just on board with Batuksa. He was within 4 tenths of Lynx, but a bad exit of the first banked corner, and his chances of getting a podium slipped out of his grasp. But Joey and Modestroll, they're still going at it. Side by side, Joey gets the move done out of the back corner, so this fight for the extra point between these two is well and truly still on.
And sorry about that, we're going to get to the finish line. Tom cannot get past Jensen. Jensen is going to win here in Zandvoort. He's going to be the first 2-time winner this season. He won in Imola, and now he's won at Zandvoort. And now extends his lead even further. Lynx gets 3rd, Batursai 4th, Jabrakan 5th, and just in 6th it's going to be Freaky Fast, and then Surface in 7th.
This is a battle that I want to keep my eye on. Modestroll is getting very close to the back of Joey. Who will get 9th place? It's looking to be a fight finish here. Modestroll gets it.
And they crash.
He gets it on the line from Joey.
I think he'll be more thrilled. He'll be more thrilled winning that point than Jensen will be for winning the race.
For those last 6 or 7 laps, the intensity between Joey and, well, Modestroll was just unrelenting. You'd think that they'd be fighting for the race win, but that honour goes to Jensen. It is an Aston Martin 1-2.
Again.
So you just got to feel it's got to be just elation for those two, especially in the constructors.
It was Jensen and Tom the top 2 in Imola. It is Jensen and Tom the top 2 again here at Zandvoort. And there is your finishing order. Look at this. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th from the grid. Houseman, of course, the odd one out. Didn't even score a single point. Jabraka, of course, breaking the sequence between him and Freaky Fast. He finishes 5th. Modestroll finishing in 9th at the line, keeping Joey where he started 10th. Everyone who finished scored, which is good to see, and of course the non-finishers down there. But yes, all British 1, 2, 3 I have to mention as well.
Yeah, it's very good. Just looking at the gap between Modestroll and Joey at the end, it was 2.5 tenths. Well, not even that. No, well, yeah, 2.5 tenths. Yeah, that's just being so close to each other. Joey being ahead, like even out of the last corner, and Modestroll taking it at the end. This is what league racing is all about. All about the thrills, the excitement, the drama. Everything you want is right here in WOR PS Tier 1.
I nearly broke my controller trying to get it. I think we should do interviews then. Can you invite the lucky 3? If you be so kind.
Just get... Are these guys still in here? Yeah, they are.
to just get the winning car into victory lane. As I call it.
Let's see if these guys join. I've invited them all.
And here's Lynx. And here's our winner, Jensen. You and Tom had and there's Tom. You and Tom had a big clash at the end of the race. That was a bit of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, it was a pretty decent race, I guess. But yeah.
I mean, you had to contend with Houseman at the beginning of the race, and then he just started to fall apart bit by bit, and it was just you two at the front, with Surface just being the bit of an interference.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't pit, to be honest. I think he was probably waiting for a safety car, but, yeah, it was a very interesting one by that, but he stayed with us for quite a long time. Yeah.
32 laps he did on those soft tires.
Medium.
Medium tires, whatever.
I don't know what, it was probably, must have been waiting for a safety car, because I can't think of anything else that it could have been doing, but yeah, it was a good race for me and Tom, another 1-2 this season. We went all out at the end, to battle each other for the win. Yeah, I couldn't let that win go, after how it went all race. But yeah, definitely a big redemption for last week, where I definitely could have been on the podium again last week, or even winning the race. But yeah, I could take that one going into the break. I think it's a week break now after this, but yeah.
Oh yeah, there is a break week next week. Oh joy! So I was going to say next week. I was going to say next week's Montreal, but no, it's in 2 weeks. But yes, we'll go to Tom now. You had the lead for a bit, didn't you?
Only brief periods, but yeah.
Yeah, you two were just swapping around for a bit. Oh, and you've got a text message.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt if I saved it to the last lap, he would have just used his barrier to defend, and it would have been too easy. So I just tried to catch him off guard, but in the end, it came down to the last lap anyway, and he just used his battery.
Yeah, and you held up the field during the safety car so you could avoid the double stack. That was a very smart move, I have to say.
Yeah, I know in this game that if you're like 5 seconds behind your teammate, you just about don't lose time from the double stack, so I sort of kept it at that gap, but without going like dangerously slow. I was just more going a slight bit slowly.
Yeah, well, I've got to say congratulations on you getting another 1-2. Second of the season as well. You got one in Imola, and that might not be the last. Probably will not be the last. Looking at you two, you've been absolutely fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, on to Quinn now. You have any questions for the two winning drivers?
Already, I think you just covered everything that I was going to ask anyways.
Brilliant. Yes, oh, we almost forgot about Lynx. Lynx, you did pretty well to finish third there. It was, I have to honestly say, we didn't see much of you, and I do apologise about that, because of course there was lots of other battles going on.
Yeah, no, my race was pretty quiet, to be honest.
Yes.
With this track, Portugal and China, this is one of my favourites. So, looking at the calendar, this is one I wanted to do well at. And
you did.
my quali pace was good, and the race pace was really good. So yeah, it was a good race.
Yes, indeed. That will, I should tell you, that will take you up to 35 points. I must say, the leaderboard's actually done wrong. It's all in the wrong order. They forgot to update the points leaderboard. But Jensen, you're now well ahead on 87 points. Tom, you'll now be on... Yeah,
Santo would have been close to Santeri.
Yeah, but he's
Which-
gone.
Yeah.
And Tom now on 56 points.
Yeah, I'm not sure if last week's got updated, to be honest. I don't know if that's... I think that's before Austria. I don't know if that's...
Austria, it shows this what people finish in Austria, but it doesn't show the points in order. But I have done the math, so yeah, I do believe you are top 2 in the standings. Lynx will be on 35, and Santeri will, I think, you'll be 2 points ahead of Santeri. So yes.
Yeah, nice. And he's left, hasn't he, now?
Yeah, he has. I don't know why. I know he wasn't happy with the decision.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's a long calendar, so I mean, still ages for it to change.
Oh yes, we've got 10 rounds left after this run. We are going to... Where are we going to? Montreal next. How are you all feeling about Montreal in 2 weeks' time? Because it's a break week next week.
Not good, because it's a World Cup.
Also,
I'm gonna get slayed.
You never know.
Tom's fast around there.
I'm not bad.
If it's raining,
But-
then it's fine. But if you're
Where
on
he
the
started
grass,
his
it's enough.
PSGL winning streak.
Yeah, it is. But, you went there, were you? So, I mean...
Alright, shall we call that a stream?
Yeah.
Well, that was one interesting race tonight at Zandvoort. It's the Aston Martin 1-2 again. And might not be the last by the standard this is going, but I hope you enjoy all... Ugh. I'm sorry, I need to go to the use the facilities after this. But yes, I hope you've all enjoyed this. No race next week, we're taking a bit of a break, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks for Montreal for the 6th round of the season. Same time, same place, Friday, 8 o'clock on the WOR YouTube channel. I hope you join us then for some action in Montreal. I've been Otaka Logan, and alongside me, Speed Quinn.
Yeah.
And of course,
Always
all the
a
drivers
pleasure.
that compete tonight, and you at home for watching the action. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a good night, all.